Welcome back to the mud shop. Today I unloaded a glaze fire, and to shorten the video a little bit, since everything was multiple pieces of different ones, I went ahead and unloaded everything, and I'll go through and show you what I have. The last video I showed these little trees, and I'm going to tie a ribbon on the top. They'll be ornaments. And I had just dipped them in Lily of the Valley, just a light green. They were pretty, but they were a little plain. So I used stroke and coats, and I put some dots of stroke and coat colors on them. Yellow, red, blues, greens, whatever colors. And then I brushed on Amico True Green over the top of that, and then I put them back in and refired them. And so now they have a little more color. And I'll show pictures on my Facebook site when I get the ribbons on them to show you what they look like. All right, I have several different things that I refired. This is the next piece. I had made this platter with a lace placemat from the dollar store. I used 240 white clay, standard brand, on everything, so that's all the pieces. And I had taken manganese wash and then wiped it back, and when I fired it, it just seemed kind of bleh. So I made a stem, and I also used the manganese wash on it, wiped it back, and then I actually glazed that with True Green. But with the manganese wash, it turned a bluish color. But I fused it onto the platter, put the platter back in and refired it, and let the glaze fuse together. So now the plate has a stem on it. And it's a little bit darker color than this lighting is letting it show. But I'll get it away from that fluorescent light. You can see it's a little bit darker orange. So that is the pumpkin platter refired. This one is the little stacking mugs. They're tapered at the bottom, so when you make multiples, they'll stack on top of each other in your cabinet. I put texture on the inside of this one instead of the outside. Give you a little surprise when you get through drinking your coffee or hot cocoa, whatever, or your hot tea. I used manganese wash on the inside and white back, so it would highlight the texture. And then I brushed on Tangelo from Amico. And the outside, I did the Tangelo about halfway down, and then overlapped with copper jade from, the Tangelo is Amico, copper jade is Mako glaze. And then I put just a little band where the two came together through the center of Amico's oatmeal. And my oatmeal was pretty thick, so, but this is how it turned out. And then the little plates that go with it, I made two, just because. And they're also Tangelo and the copper jade around the edges. All right, then forever and a day, Mr. Owl has been waiting on my shelf. His pieces have been fired. He finally made it in, because I did not have an extra full load. So all the pieces will be tied into the bottom. As you can see, there's a loop in there. Let's see if I can get it turned. Well, yeah. There's a loop in there that's made into it. And I'll use bead chain and hook these. This is the clapper. This is the wind catcher. And then these beads here will be the weight to hold it down and let it swing, so it will make the pretty sound when the wind blows. And these colors are Texture Amber Brown. The wings, the center of the eyes, nose, and the handle is Amico's Ochre. And the eyes here are the yellow Mako Stroke and Coat, and I believe it's called Sun-Kissed. So I'll let you know when that gets put together. Then I made a fired size. This is 8 by 11. This is the RD2 form from GR Pottery Forms. I did use De La Design stamps for the leaf and the believe, and my maker's mark in the middle. These are called blobby pumpkins. I just blobbed the glaze on, and then I used black and a little fine liner brush and put on the black, and everything is done with stroke and coat. I did not do a base glaze. I put it straight onto the bisqueware, and then when I got through and let it dry real well, I used Speedball Clear over the whole thing. This is orange stroke and coat. I also did around the edge, and then this is clear on the back. Did a clear. You can see it's got a little bit of shine to it. Then this one is Georgie's Interactive Pigments, and I put it on pretty heavy and white back. I wanted a lot of the blue, and then I used indigo float around the edges and on the back. I used Speedball Clear on the inside, and that's my little sweater plate. That's a rolling pin I used for the texture for the sweater pattern. This is just a little dish that we use at the church, and I just wanted to make an extra one. They're handy for spoon rests when we have dinners, and we have big containers of our tea dispensers, and lemonade, so we just slide these under the spout, so if it drips, catches everything. But this one is Clayscaped Cream, and I also used the indigo float just a little bit, and I put it on pretty heavy and let it drip, and indigo float on the back also. You can see the blue. All right, I have cameos. This one is black underglaze, white back, and the Speedball Clear over. I go ahead and let it get on the back too, so it doesn't just blare at you with white. And this is a pendant and earring set. I'll get them chained up and done, and share pictures. This is the indigo Georgie's Interactive Pigments. And I wanted to do a blue one, indigo and white back, and then the Speedball Clear. So it's got just a faint hint of blue on it, and this one also is the black. All right, now for the nativities. Now, this wasn't my idea. I saw someone else share it. But what they shared, the star was 2-inch cutter, so it was about 1 3/8 inch size across from here to here when they got through. This one is a 3-inch star, so it's a good bit bigger star. And let's see what the finished size is. It's 3 1/4 inch across after being fired. Okay, and I hand sculpted the angel on this one, and the little pieces, everything was, I just drew out on the clay, hand sculpted, and I've got Joseph with his little beard. Here's Mary. Here's the baby Jesus. Here's the sheep. Now they'll hang from these little prongs here that I made with nichrome wire. The sheeps will hang from here, they'll dangle. Joseph on this one, Mary on this one, and then the baby Jesus I'll do a little bit longer. I'm not sure if I'm going to use chain or ribbon, but I'll check them out and try different ones, see what I like the best. Now when I made this, after I got home, I got to thinking, wait a minute, did I put a loop on the top or a hole where I can hang it? I come back the next day and no, I did not. So I will glue something, a bail on the back of this one for hanging. But the day that I come back down and checked it, I decided, well, I'll make another one and put the nichrome wire in the top for it to be hung. Well, I rolled out a little piece of clay, and next thing I knew, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So I ended up with 6 sets. I'll keep the one without the nichrome wire on top. That's okay. I can handle it. And I'll put the rest of them in my showroom So if you'd like one, that's where it'll be. Then I took my spare clay, little scrap clay, and made a candy cane. This one I dipped in cream, and then I used hot tamale stroking coat. This is a pretty bright red, and painted the stripes on it. I fire those on a stilt. It's called a bed of nails. It's just a flat piece with the spikes on it. And the other nativities that I've done are these. I have a plaster mold that I make these with. This one and this one were made with speedball blue, a royal blue, and just the pine green, white back, and then the clear on each one of these. Now these two were made with the manganese washed white back, and then I used true green, which is Amico. This one is the pine green and the true green on top, but they really look pretty much the same. I don't see a big difference in them. So when I make them next time, except I do see Mary's features a little prominent with the manganese wash than I do with the regular glaze. And these were done speedball royal blue, white back, and then just a clear on top of these. So here's one nativity. Here's two nativity sets. And then these others, this is my second year to make these. I have a cutter and a stamp, and I just cut out around them. And I glaze these with stroking coats. I use the blue, green, and the yellow. I mix my own colors to get the background. And then I use the brown for the house on the edges, but all these are stroking coat colors. So these will have ribbons tied on them. I've got some work to do when I get home. Sand the backs, tie the ribbons on, get them ready to go. They'll be in the store. And I just love the blobby pumpkin platter. So I think it turned out really well. I just made the swirls of the green and the orange and a few little dots here and yonder on it. But that's what came out of the kiln today. Sometimes you have mishaps, like if you'll notice there's an odd number of these nativities. That's because one, when I put it in the kiln to bisque fire, I dropped it on the shelf a little harder, and it snapped the top part off. They're really delicate when they're at the greenware stage. And I thought I would fuse the piece together with glaze, but as it fired, it shrunk and it separated like this, so it did not fuse together. So I'm trying to decide if I want to glue that together or just kind of sand it, round it at the top, and put a veil on the back. So that'll go on my Christmas tree, and I'll probably just grind it down, round it off, and put a veil on the back. Out of all these that I've made, I've not kept one, so this will be mine. So I get two nativities. Aha! How about that? Well, thank you for joining me in the mud shop. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. Oh, further back you can see how dark that orange is. It turned out well. And I like the way that Tangelo works with copper jade. It turned out pretty. So, until the next time, I'll see you in the mud shop. Bye.